How's it going, everybody? My name's Adrian.
And I'm Will.
And welcome to the Land Yacht. We've been on the road for about 3 months now, and the build took us about 4.5 months. So let's go on in. So on the inside, we first have this 7-foot bench, which pulls out into a little bit bigger than a twin-size bed. And under that, we keep all our electrical. So we have 6-volt golf cart batteries, and then our inverters under there. And we are actually waiting to put in solar. So we're going to be doing that shortly. And then we also have our dinette, which also converts into a bed. We drop this pole out, take this down, put the cushions over, and that also turns into a twin-size bed as well. All right, so moving into the kitchen, we have some nice live edge countertops that we picked up from a guy in Massachusetts. We have a sink and a stovetop. We kept it kind of simple because we're two college kids. We're not big on cooking, so we just got the small stovetop range, which we're eventually going to sell it so somebody could easily put a bigger one in if they want. We have our water tank under here, which is 55 gallons. We kept it indoor so it did not freeze. We also keep our trash can down here, some trash bags and everything. Got our silverware, plates, typical storage. Moving over to another countertop that's just used for cutting boards and stuff, just also storage. Junk drawer, some utensils, and then this has all our snacks, pots, pans, and everything. And then we also have storage underneath of our dinette cushions. So everything is custom built by Will's dad. He has a CNC machine. He cut out the faces, and we pretty much built everything ourselves. So we put the countertops are 2 pieces of live edge wood joined together. So we did that ourselves, as well as pretty much everything on the bus, with a lot of help from family and friends. So also in the kitchen, we decided to leave our emergency exit windows in. So we have 2 here, 1 there, and then 1 back in the bedroom. So what we didn't know as kids is when you pull these, the whole window doesn't come out. You can actually just yank these up, and you have a nice little escape hatch, or you can also prop these up to get some nice airflow rather than just pulling the window down. A little tight, and then we also have a skylight that we put in where the emergency exit used to be. So it just allows more natural light in instead of a grimy piece of plastic that was touched by millions of kids.
So for our heat source, we decided to go with a wood-burning stove. It just seems like the right thing to do because with the way the diesel prices were going, and we didn't have to want to rely on carrying extra fuel around constantly. So we went with this. Luckily, a friend of a friend had a bunch of wood stoves for sale, so we picked this one up for cheap and threw it in. It's probably a little big for the bus, but it keeps it nice and warm once we get into the colder temperatures. We built it on a platform up off the floor just to, increase ventilation and make sure things don't get too hot. We did slate on the bottom, and then on the back and the ceiling we did copper to help reflect the heat back into the bus. For the chimney, we have single wall black pipe to throw as much heat as we can, and then up through the actual ceiling is a triple wall, 12-inch piece of triple wall pipe with a cap on top. So one thing that we took a lot of time to decide what to do is our roof raise here. We had a lot of people telling us, it's not worth it. It's a lot of extra work. It's really expensive. It's less safe. You shouldn't do this roof raise. But being that we had originally a 6-foot roof, it would have been kind of like this walking around the whole time. So we decided to go with the roof raise, and we did a 12-inch raise, cut it across just below the windows, and lifted the whole ceiling up with the windows, and then welded in supports into the hat channels, and then did sheet metal on the side and covered that all up. We wanted to keep the bus windows because, again, we were on a bit of a tight budget and didn't want to throw the serious money at custom RV windows. And we decided to do the cut below the windows so that when we lifted it up, we could still, stand at our kitchen, stand at the other side, and be able to look out the windows and see where we are and not have to lean over to see out the windows. So this is something that I've wanted to do for a couple years now. I kind of accidentally stumbled upon the schoolie community and just thought it was so cool that, people are turning these old, relatively useless buses into these big, beautiful RVs and traveling around in them. And then this past year, I just finished my junior year of college, and with COVID and everything, most of my classes were going back online, and I didn't really want to go through the online experience again. So I texted Adrian here and asked if he'd be interested in buying a school bus and building it out, and he said yes. And here we are.
Yeah, and then we also, before COVID happened, in our spring semester, we all were planning a road trip, us two and a couple other guys from our fraternity, that we were just like, if we're not going back to school, we might as well just pack up and hit the road, see some national parks, some cool places. But unfortunately, all the national parks closed down due to COVID, so that plan kind of got shot. And then when he texted me, I was like, sure, why not? Just graduated, don't want to apply to jobs, so why not spend money on a bus and go see the world?
So in here we have our bathroom area. We decided to go with a kind of homemade composting toilet. We were looking into getting, some of the professional composting toilets that do everything for you, but considering we're two college kids, we were on a bit of a tight budget, so we decided to do it ourselves, and it's been working all right. No big issues. We got extra storage on either side of it. So in opposing the toilet, we have our shower, which is all waterproof sealed. We luckily had some fiberglass experience, so we fiberglassed the whole interior and then used white gel coat over the top. And then we plumbed everything behind that wall, which right now we actually have some leaks in it. And I think that's mostly because we used house grade solder when putting all the joints together, and I think the constant pounding of the road shook one of those loose. So we are planning on cutting an access port on the other side of that wall in the kitchen to get in there, and probably if we were thinking ahead a little bit, we would have built one of those in so we'd have access to the mixer from the other side and not have to deal with cutting into the waterproof fiberglass. It drains directly down below. We have a 37-gallon gray water tank that's mounted up underneath, and our sink also drains down into that. So here we have just, additional storage. It's actually built on top of the wheel hump, so this was kind of almost lost space, so we decided to do what we could with it. We put our refrigerator here, which is just an electric dorm refrigerator that we had lying around. And then the rest of the space is just additional storage. We have a lot of our snacks in here for going on hikes and such, and our only hanging clothes rack for the bigger coats and sweatshirts. And then we also have our toiletries and medicine cabinet here. So back into the bedroom here, we decided as two college buddies that bunk beds were the best way to go. I got lucky enough to draw bottom bunk. And then on either side here, we have more custom cabinetry for our dressers that we keep all our clothes in, with nice Corian countertops. Also underneath, we have a lot of additional storage that we have, extra books, extra shoes, extra clothes, anything. It's a lot of very useful storage here. And the nice part about the bottom bunk is you can hang stuff up underneath that top mattress for additional storage.
All right, so I got the top bunk, being the shorter one out of the two. It kind of is inconvenient some days. I'll smack my head or kick the ceiling eventually. But other than that, I use this to climb up. So it's kind of a makeshift ladder where I got extra storage on top, just extra clothes. Got a I made it a bookshelf. It just hides all our electrical, so it has bookshelf, hat rack, also curtain hanger. Pretty versatile piece of wood right there that I'm using. But yeah, top bunk, it's not too bad. It does have its downsides. When I wake up in the morning and I forget I'm there, I gotta struggle to get out of bed, put my foot down. I fell last week. It did hurt, but we recover from those things.
So as two broke college students, we a big sticking point for this bus was our price. We set an initial budget of $10,000, and so that was for getting the bus as well as getting all the materials and everything to build it to what it is today. I think we went just barely over budget, but for the most part, and that was also due to the fact that we had a lot of friends and family that were, I have an uncle who's a plumber, his dad's an electrician, so we definitely got a lot of cheap help from other professionals in our families. But that was the biggest thing for us, is keeping it cheap, and that's why I think if you know what you're doing and have a plan, it's something that anyone can do, because you can do it for the cheap.
Yeah, and we decided as we went along, we were like, oh, let's add a shower, and that was extra cost. Oh, let's raise the roof. So that, even though our budget was $10K, we still somehow managed to fit in everything that we wanted going along. So if you're thinking about doing a build, you don't have to put a shower in it. You don't have to have like certain things that we want, like live edge countertops. If you just stick to
the basics.
Yeah, the basics, you can do it for even cheaper. So it's not that big of a upfront cost. I mean, granted, it is $10,000, but when you get on the road, it's just food. For the most part, food and gas are your two biggest costs. So we're currently not working. We're just living off savings. So we've been able to do this for 3 months now, and we haven't had an issue with financials.
It's also, I think that's a big sticking point that is better for bus life versus van life, is the initial upfront cost is significantly less for bus life. Just because if you do your research, you can find a great base model bus for a heck of a lot cheaper than a van. Some of even the older Sprinter vans are so expensive that I think the bus is a cheap way to enter into the lifestyle.
So we decided to do what a lot of other schooly people don't decide to do, is we actually put in 5 feet of storage. So we sacrificed living space in order to carry more of our extracurricular activities. So we open this up. We got another cooler that acts as a supplement to our fridge. We have a generator back here because we don't have solar yet. So if we ever want to stay in a spot for a little while, we just pull our generator out and hook it up to our shore power. We got camping backpacks, chairs, golf clubs are back here. We have 5 feet of storage for wood, for the wood stove that we also implemented. And so just some tools, extra storage for snacks and stuff, a couple gas cans. But other than that, it's just whatever we don't want up front, we just throw back here, and it's pretty convenient. So if you're looking to build a bus out, some extra storage space might be something to look into.
So up front here, we had a lot of empty space. There's a heater that's underneath here, but we wanted to cover it up and give us some counter space. So while we're driving, we have a place that we can put our, wallets, phones, lunch, dinner, whatever we're doing. So this extra counter space is probably the thing that we use the most. It was a great addition. And then the seat, when we got the bus, it actually had a old office chair that was just bolted to the frame and wasn't very comfortable. So we actually dug up an air ride seat, and so we have a little compressor and regulator that's underneath the seat, and that has been the greatest thing, because when you're sitting in the bus for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, having a nice cushy ride is the best part. So we compressed all the actual bus switches onto one panel, and then made another panel for the stuff that we added on. There's a switch for the regulator, the fan on the batteries, 12-volt phone chargers, and then we have a big panel for all our exterior lights. We have a bunch of light bars on the front of the bus. And we also, as we move up top here, we put in a speaker system, just because driving gets boring without music. And so we have that built into the cabinets up here. And up here again is just additional storage. We have our first aid kit, a bunch of maps, flashlights. This is kind of just the easiest grab and go spot. 22 years old.
I'm 24.
And I think this is the best time to get out and see everything. You know, it's before we're tied down by jobs. It's, you know, we're old enough to live on our own now. And what I think is a big barrier for a lot of people is the upfront costs. But if you work smart, you do all the work yourself, you can do it for, you know, a very small budget and still get a great build out of the experience.
Yeah, I think if you have the passion for traveling and adventure and just meeting new people, getting out, it's definitely something that it's not what you first think of, but when you dive into the lifestyle, it's definitely one that can be pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for touring the land yacht. If you want to continue following our journey, shoot us a follow on Instagram at @the.landyacht. And we look forward to meeting some of you guys soon.